The calm before the storm ends tonight. Right now, as I speak to you, a powerful weather system is organizing over the Central Plains. Within 36 hours, this system will explode into one of the most intense winter storms of the season, a bomb cyclone with pressure dropping to 971 millibars, snow measured not in inches but in feet, wind gusts that will rival those of a Category 1 hurricane, and a temperature collapse so sudden that some cities will lose 60 degrees in a single day. This is not hyperbole. This is what the data is telling us, and I want you to understand not just what's coming, but why it's happening and what you can do to stay safe. By the time we're done here, you'll have a complete picture of this event from start to finish. You'll know the timeline, you'll know the impacts for your specific region, and you'll have actionable steps to protect yourself and your loved ones. Let me start by explaining the atmospheric setup, because understanding the why helps you appreciate the severity of what's approaching. The jet stream, that fast-moving river of air in the upper atmosphere, is about to undergo a dramatic reconfiguration. Right now, it's positioned in a relatively flat pattern across the country. But starting tonight and accelerating through tomorrow, the jet stream will buckle dramatically over the Midwest. This buckling creates what meteorologists call a deep trough. Think of it as a massive dip in the jet stream that allows Arctic air to plunge southward. At the same time, warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico surges northward ahead of this trough. These two air masses, one frigid and one mild, are going to collide with extraordinary force. The collision zone will be marked by a low-pressure system that forms over the northern plains tonight. Currently, computer models show this system at 999 millibars late Saturday night. That's a moderately strong low-pressure system. Nothing extraordinary. But watch what happens over the next 24 hours. By Sunday evening, that same system will have crashed to 976 millibars. By Monday morning, 971 millibars over Michigan. That's a pressure drop of more than 24 millibars in 24 hours, the meteorological definition of a bomb cyclone. When pressure falls this rapidly, everything about the storm intensifies. Winds accelerate, precipitation rates increase. The storm's impacts expand over a larger geographic area. This is why we're not just talking about a winter storm. We're talking about a potentially historic multi-hazard event. Let me paint the complete picture of what's happening right now. Saturday afternoon. Earlier today, a winter storm moved offshore from the northeast. That system brought widespread impacts, 4 to 8 inches of snow across New York, northeast Pennsylvania, and Long Island. Hartwick, New York recorded 11.5 inches, the highest total from that system. Other communities east of the Finger Lakes and the Catskills saw 8 inches to nearly a foot. New York City measured 4.3 inches in Central Park. Connecticut fared worse than New York City because the storm track shifted slightly east, with cities south of Hartford receiving 5 to 9 inches. That storm caused dozens of accidents, flight cancellations, and travel disruptions, but it's clearing out now, and conditions are improving across the Northeast. However, and this is critical, that was just round one. The system developing over the Central Plains right now will be significantly more powerful and more complex. Here's what makes this next storm so dangerous. It's not just one type of weather. It's multiple hazards affecting different regions simultaneously. In the upper Midwest, heavy snow and blizzard conditions. Across the transition zone in the Northeast, freezing rain and dangerous ice accumulation. In the warm sector ahead of the system, severe thunderstorms with the potential for tornadoes. And behind the entire system, an Arctic air mass that will send temperatures into a freefall. Let me walk you through the timeline in detail. Late tonight, Saturday night, snow develops over the Rockies and begins spreading eastward into the northern plains. The snow will be light to moderate initially, but it's laying the groundwork for what's coming. The storm's central pressure at this point will be around 999 millibars. Sunday morning, the low-pressure system will be positioned over Iowa. Interestingly, the pressure will actually rise slightly to about 1,001 millibars as the system moves eastward. This is not unusual. Sometimes these systems consolidate before they intensify. But by Sunday afternoon, rapid intensification begins in earnest. Heavy snow breaks out across Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan by midday Sunday. This is when things get serious. Snowfall rates will ramp up to 3 to 4 inches per hour in the heaviest bands. With air temperatures in the single digits and teens, this will be very fluffy, light snow. Normally, that would be good news because fluffy snow is easier to shovel, but the problem is the wind. By Sunday afternoon, wind speeds will be increasing dramatically. Sustained winds of 30 to 40 miles per hour with gusts to 50 or 60 miles per hour. When you combine heavy snowfall with winds this strong, you get blizzard conditions. Visibility drops to near zero. Snowdrifts form rapidly, making roads impassable. Even if snow totals were only moderate, the wind would make this dangerous, but snow totals won't be moderate. Current model guidance suggests widespread accumulations of 1 to 2 feet across the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and northern Wisconsin. The GFS model specifically indicates some pockets could receive 2 to even 3 feet. From Minneapolis eastward into northern Wisconsin near Wausau, 8 to 12 inches is forecast. These are significant, impactful totals that will paralyze travel and daily activities. While heavy snow dominates the north, a different threat emerges in the northeast: freezing rain. The same storm system that's producing snow to the north will be pulling warmer air aloft over the northeast. But surface temperatures will remain below freezing. This creates the perfect setup for freezing rain. Liquid precipitation falls from the warm layer aloft, then freezes on contact with cold surfaces below. Ice accumulation from freezing rain is one of winter's most destructive hazards. It doesn't take much to cause major problems. 1/10 of an inch can make roads and sidewalks treacherous. 1/4 inch brings down tree branches and power lines. Anything over 1/2 inch creates widespread, prolonged power outages. Based on current model output, areas of the northeast could see ice accumulation in that 1/4 to 1/2 inch range Sunday into Sunday night. Now, let's talk about the severe weather threat, because this is unusual for late December, but very real. Ahead of the cold front, in the warm sector of the storm, we're going to have air temperatures in the 60s and 70s on Sunday afternoon. At the same time, the jet stream overhead will be screaming, providing tremendous wind shear. This combination of warmth and wind shear can support rotating thunderstorms. The corridor of greatest concern extends from eastern Missouri through Illinois into Indiana, St. Louis eastward to Fort Wayne. The time frame is Sunday afternoon, roughly from noon until 6 p.m. During this window, a few supercell thunderstorms could develop, capable of producing tornadoes, large hail, and damaging straight-line winds. After sunset, the tornado threat will diminish as the atmosphere stabilizes, but damaging winds may continue into the evening hours across Ohio and Kentucky. I want to emphasize something important here. Tornadoes in late December are not common in the Midwest, but they're not unprecedented either. The atmospheric ingredients are coming together in a way that supports this threat. If you live in this corridor, you need to take this seriously. Have multiple ways to receive warnings. Know where your safe place is in your home. Don't dismiss tornado warnings just because it's winter. By Sunday evening, the full scope of this storm becomes apparent. Heavy snow and blizzard conditions across the upper Midwest. Severe thunderstorms across the Ohio Valley. Freezing rain across portions of the Northeast. And all of it driven by a rapidly intensifying low-pressure system. The central pressure by Sunday evening will have dropped to 976 millibars, confirming that rapid intensification is underway. Sunday night into Monday morning represents the storm's peak intensity. Wind gusts will be widespread and potentially damaging across a huge swath of the country. From the Central Plains through the Midwest and into the Ohio Valley, expect gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour. Near the cold frontal boundary over Ohio and Kentucky, isolated gusts of 60 to 70 miles per hour are possible. These are serious winds. 50-mile-per-hour gusts can blow down tree limbs and power lines. 60 to 70-mile-per-hour gusts can cause structural damage to buildings, overturn high-profile vehicles, and create extremely dangerous travel conditions. Combined with heavy snow in some areas, these winds will produce blizzard conditions with zero visibility. By Monday morning, the storm reaches its lowest pressure over Michigan, 971 millibars according to the GFS model. This officially qualifies as a bomb cyclone. At this point, the heaviest precipitation will be shifting northward into Canada. Heavy bands of snow will develop across Ontario and Quebec, but for areas around the Great Lakes, a new threat emerges. Lake effect snow. As the storm pulls away, very strong northerly winds will blow across the relatively warm waters of the Great Lakes. These winds pick up moisture from the lakes and deposit it as heavy snow on the downwind shores. 3 areas will be particularly hard hit. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan, downwind of Lake Superior, Central and Western Michigan, downwind of Lake Michigan, and Western New York, downwind of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. Lake effect snow can be remarkably intense and highly localized. One town might get 2 feet, while a town 10 miles away gets nothing. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan is positioned to receive the most lake effect, potentially adding 1 to 2 feet on top of what falls from the main storm. When you add it all up, total snow accumulations of 2 to 3 feet are possible in the hardest hit areas of the Upper Peninsula. In Psalm 46 verse 1, we read, "God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble." As we face this storm, these words offer comfort and perspective. We prepare practically, but we also trust spiritually. God is present with us in difficult times, providing strength when we feel overwhelmed. Now let me address the Arctic blast that follows this storm, because in some ways, this may be the most widespread impact. Very cold air will pour southward behind the low-pressure system starting Sunday night. The temperature crash will be dramatic and sudden in many locations. Consider Dallas, Texas. Sunday's forecast high is 80 degrees. By Monday, the high will be only 42 degrees. That's a 38-degree drop in 24 hours, and that's in Texas. Further north, the changes are even more extreme. Chicago will go from near 60 degrees Sunday afternoon to wind chills near 0 degrees Monday morning. That's a 60-degree swing in less than a day. This Arctic air won't be brief. The jet stream pattern supports continued cold through at least the first half of January. By Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week, another surge of even colder air appears likely. This second push may not bring as much snow as the current storm, but it will bring intense cold and strong winds. Combined with snow already on the ground, wind chills could drop well below 0 across much of the Midwest and Northeast. Let me provide you with detailed safety guidance because knowledge without action doesn't protect anyone. Starting with winter driving, the most important rule is simple. Don't. If you can avoid traveling Sunday through Tuesday, please do. But I understand that's not always possible. Some people have to work, some have family obligations. So if you must drive, here's what you need to know. Reduce your speed significantly. The speed limit assumes ideal conditions. Ice and snow are far from ideal. Cut your speed by at least 15 to 20 miles per hour below the posted limit. More if visibility is reduced or roads are particularly slick. Your stopping distance on ice is 3 to 9 times longer than on dry pavement. Give yourself room to react and stop. Increase following distance to 6 to 8 seconds minimum. Count 1001, 1002, all the way to 1008 between you and the vehicle ahead. This gives you time to react if they suddenly brake or slide. Accelerate gently and smoothly. Brake early and softly. Turn gradually. Any sudden movement can break traction. If you do lose control and start to slide, stay calm. Don't slam the brakes. That will only make things worse. Steer in the direction you want to go and ease off the gas. As the vehicle slows, you'll regain traction. If you have anti-lock brakes, apply firm, steady pressure and let the system do its job. Know when to get off the road. If visibility drops to near 0 because of blowing snow, pull over safely and wait. If traffic on the interstate has slowed to a crawl, consider exiting and finding a hotel. Your safety is more valuable than any appointment or schedule. Prepare your vehicle before you go. Full tank of gas is essential. If you get stranded, you'll need fuel to run the engine for heat. Pack an emergency kit with blankets, extra warm clothes, flashlight with extra batteries, first aid supplies, bottled water, non-perishable snacks, ice scraper, small shovel, and sand or kitty litter for traction if you get stuck. Charge your cell phone fully and bring a car charger. Tell someone your planned route and expected arrival time. For home preparation, protecting your pipes is crucial. When temperatures drop as dramatically as they will Monday and Tuesday, pipes in unheated spaces are at serious risk of freezing. Open cabinet doors under sinks to allow warm air circulation. Let faucets drip slightly to keep water moving. Disconnect outdoor hoses and shut off valves to outdoor faucets. Have a backup heating plan. If your primary heat source requires electricity and you lose power, you need alternatives. Fireplace or wood stove if you have one. Make sure you have adequate firewood. Space heaters can work, but use them safely. Never leave them unattended. Keep them away from anything flammable. Ensure you have working smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. Stock adequate food and water. Assume you might be stuck at home for 3 days. Non-perishable food that doesn't require cooking. 1 gallon of water per person per day. Don't forget prescription medications. Have at least a week's supply on hand. Power outage supplies are essential. Multiple flashlights with extra batteries. Battery-powered or hand-crank radio to receive emergency information. First aid kit. Basic tools. Matches and candles in safe holders. If you use a generator, never operate it indoors or in an attached garage. Carbon monoxide poisoning is silent and deadly. Cold weather health risks deserve serious attention. Frostbite can develop in as little as 5 to 10 minutes when wind chills drop below zero. Your extremities are most vulnerable. Fingers, toes, ears, nose. Early warning signs include numbness, tingling, and skin that appears white or grayish. If you suspect frostbite, get indoors immediately. Warm the affected area gradually with warm, never hot water. Seek medical attention. Hypothermia occurs when your core body temperature drops below 95 degrees. Warning signs include intense shivering, confusion, slurred speech, drowsiness, and loss of coordination. Hypothermia is a medical emergency. Call 911 immediately. Move the person to a warm location. Remove wet clothing. Warm them gradually with blankets or body heat. Vulnerable populations face the greatest risk. The elderly, young children, people with heart or circulatory problems, and anyone without adequate shelter or heating. If you know someone in a vulnerable category, check on them regularly. Make sure they can stay warm. Offer assistance if needed. Proper clothing makes a tremendous difference. Dress in layers. Start with a moisture-wicking base layer next to your skin. Add an insulating middle layer like fleece or down. Finish with a wind-resistant, waterproof outer layer. Wear a hat because you lose significant body heat through your head. Mittens are warmer than gloves because your fingers share heat. Insulated, waterproof boots are essential. Cover your mouth and nose with a scarf to protect your lungs from frigid air. In Matthew 6:34, Jesus teaches, "Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself." This doesn't mean we shouldn't prepare. It means we shouldn't let anxiety control us. We prepare wisely, we take appropriate action, and then we trust. Worry changes nothing. Preparation changes everything. Let me summarize the critical points. Major bomb cyclone develops this weekend. Storm intensifies rapidly from Saturday night through Monday morning. Central pressure drops to 971 millibars by Monday morning. Heavy snow 1 to 2 feet widespread across upper Midwest. Isolated amounts 2 to 3 feet possible. Snowfall rates 3 to 4 inches per hour during peak. Blizzard conditions develop upper peninsula Michigan, northern Wisconsin, Minnesota. Lake effect snow Monday and Tuesday adds 1 to 2 feet in favored locations. Severe weather outbreak possible Sunday afternoon, Illinois and Indiana. Tornado threat noon to 6 p.m. timeframe. Damaging winds, large hail, tornadoes, all possible. Freezing rain impacts Northeast Sunday into Sunday night. Ice accumulation creates dangerous conditions and power outage risk. Wind widespread and potentially damaging. 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts common Sunday night and Monday. 60 to 70 mile per hour gusts possible Ohio and Kentucky. Arctic blast follows storm. Temperature crash Sunday night and Monday. Wind chills below zero, Midwest Monday and Tuesday. Cold spreads entire eastern United States. Additional Arctic surge likely later next week. Your action items. Heavy snow zone, prepare to shelter in place 24 to 36 hours starting Sunday afternoon. Stock all essentials now. Severe weather zone, have multiple warning methods ready Sunday. Know your safe location. Ice zone. Prepare for extended power outages. Everyone prepare for extreme cold Monday through Thursday minimum. This ranks among the most significant winter storms of the season. But you have time to prepare. You have information to act on. You can make wise decisions that protect yourself and help others. Stay safe, trust your preparation, support your neighbors. God bless you and keep you through this storm.